Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film Thor. Odin's son, Thor, who, after getting revenge on these ice people who Odin killed a long time ago, who snuck into this place where they stole this thing from them that was really evil, Thor goes to take care of them. Then Odin banishes Thor to Earth without his hammer, where he meets Natalie Portman's character, who is a scientist and is friends with this professor played by Stellan Skarsgård, and then she has this intern, Kat Dennings, who's like the comic relief. The Shield gets involved and tries to investigate who Thor is, and actually a pretty nice intro cameo to Hawkeye, I have to say, that doesn't really last that long. Thor gets in a big battle at the end, and you kind of know how this whole thing works. This isn't going to be your crossover comic book movie. Not all superheroes are going to be able to make an Iron Man type movie, and this film I don't think could ever have done that, for a lot of reasons. One is, I think this film is far more Marvel Studios driven, producer driven. The first Iron Man, you can definitely tell there's a director behind it with Jon Favreau, and then he's developing a character for a film. With this film, it feels like it's corporately run, and that Kenneth Branagh is just there to just do what they want him to do. He knows he has to have this stuff happen so he can set stuff up for the Avengers. There is way too much thrown into this film. The Kat Dennings playing this comic relief was just like, why do we have a Disney sidekick comic relief character? Stellan Skarsgård, I'm not sure if he's coming back in other Marvel films, but he could have like actually given a fuck about being in this movie. It looked like he really didn't care. The whole love story between Thor and Natalie Portman's character just really did not work at all, because the whole time, like, she's like oohing and awing over Thor. There's no indication before they kiss that they would fall in love at all, and then suddenly they were in love. If they were a real couple, he basically kind of treated her crappy, and then she like, oh, he's so attractive though, it's, oh my god, he's Thor. I don't know what they were thinking with that storyline. It was completely worthless. And Natalie Portman just really was not good. I don't think she really cared either. She just felt like lifeless to me and like a blank slate. Like she has zero personality. The guy who played Thor, Chris Hemsworth, I think, I thought he was really great as Thor. It's kind of a shame that this movie wasn't better. I actually am excited to see him in the Avengers. The character of Loki was a little too like metrosexually for me, and I guess like that's what Loki would be maybe now. Why couldn't we have a Loki who was like kind of more fun? Was Alan Cummings busy? Because I would have much rather seen him be Loki than whoever this guy was. Anthony Hopkins was completely overcast as Odin. I didn't really like him as Odin. I wish we had more of a character actor. One of the things at the beginning which I don't really like was how it just takes the structure of the first act of the first Iron Man, where you have this little intro and then explosion, and then let's go to the title sequence and go through this whole thing, and then at the end of the first act we understand what that explosion thing was, and how it relates to Thor, and we set him up and you understand what's going on. I think that structure really worked for Iron Man, but in Thor it felt like they test marketed the crap out of the first Iron Man. They realized like, hey, that first act structure worked really well and everybody really liked it. I'm not sure, are they trying to create a genre of Marvel films, or are they just lazy and they can't come up with another way to write a good superhero movie? What, is Captain America gonna start like this too? I guess really Thor could have been a lot worse. And this film didn't have as many cuts as we usually have in the current action movies, and the camera was pretty still for the most part. I'd probably tell you to see Fast 5 over this unless you're a big fan of comics or you're a big fan of Thor or like Asgard. But if you're really not into those things, I don't think you should see this. This film just kind of met my expectations, which is kind of like, eh. I like Thor's hammer. I like how they treated the character of Thor. Maybe I just don't like the movie Thor. So if you have seen Thor and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.